We are. Perfect. Hello, everyone. My name is Anna Ostrogliad, and I'm a holistic nutritional consultant and wellness coach. I'm incredibly excited for all of you to join me today for this Heal and Boost Your Immune System event. Since COVID-19 epidemic started, I have been thinking, how can I serve my community? And that's how I came up with the idea for this event. I hope you're gonna get some useful information to stay healthy and strong beyond the crisis. Before we begin, I would love to just spend a moment talking about some technical things. So we're having this event in the form of Zoom webinar, which means all attendees are muted. You see at the bottom of your screen, chat option, raise your hand, and Q&A. I encourage you to ask questions by typing them into a chat box or Q&A, or you can just simply tap raise your hand, and then I'm gonna unmute you and you will ask a question yourself. This event is going to be recorded, so if you need to hop off a little bit earlier, that's fine. Don't worry, you're gonna receive your recording on the email. All right, I think we can begin now. I have two absolutely amazing speakers with me today, and I'm very grateful for them to be able to join us. Jules Nov is a whole food, plant-based empowerment coach, plant-based cooking instructor, and the host of Plant Superpowers Summit. Hi, Jules. I'm very happy you were able to join us today.
Hi, Anna. I feel honored. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Our second speaker is Alexandra Babayan. Alexandra is a licensed acupuncturist, medical herbalist, Qigong instructor, as well as a lifestyle coach. Hi, Alexandra. Thank you for being here today with us.
Hi, everyone, and hi, Anna. Thank you for inviting me. I'm really happy to see you both here and everyone who I'm not seeing.
Awesome. All right, so today we are talking about power of nutrition, Chinese medicine tips and tricks in boosting immune system. I would love to start our conversation by asking question Jules first. So Jules, we're talking about whole food, plant-based lifestyle. How this lifestyle and diet is different from a traditional diet?
How is it different? Okay, let me give you my perspective. I think this is the real way of eating. That's where we all began. When you say traditional diet, I would say our real traditions came from the whole food. And what we are experiencing, what we see, what people eat around us now is not a traditional diet. It's mostly processed food. So whole food plant-based lifestyle, whole food plant-based eating is when you consume unprocessed or minimally processed plants, whole food. So it can be vegetables, fruits, grains, legumes, starches like potatoes and corn.
And there is no animal product in it. And how then it is different from vegan diet?
Well, right, there is no animal products. There are no dairy. And the difference between whole food plant-based diet and vegan diet is in whole foods. You can be vegan, and it can be like they say ethical vegans that just don't want to harm the animals. But the whole food plant-based diet is not only not harming the animals, but in addition to it, you don't harm yourself with processed products like oil, like you can have like Beyond Burgers or sausages. They are vegan, but they're not whole food plant-based. French fries is vegan. Soda is vegan, but it would not, I would not call it healthy.
Yeah, I really like that saying that you do not harm yourself as well. That's my motto. It's gonna be my motto. So there are plenty of different approaches to eating out there. Is whole food plant-based diet medically, scientifically proved? Is there any, medical professionals that support it? How do we know that that's a safe way of eating?
Well, there is definitely a lot of evidence, scientifically based. There are a lot of studies and researches that support this way of eating. Dr. Arnish, Dr. Esselstyn's are the two people who actually reversed heart disease. I apologize for the noise. I live in a city, so again, apologize for it. So those doctors reversed the heart disease, but just by implementing whole food plant-based way of eating. And there are a lot of great books, there are a lot of great studies, and Dr. Greger, he has this book, How Not to Die, has like almost 1/3 of that book is a collection of all the studies that support this way of lifestyle, and all the medical, you can find all the studies in there. So we have a lot of doctors, cardiologists, people who heal diabetes, type 2, by implementing this lifestyle, and definitely hypertension, high blood sugar, and blood pressure.
Yeah. So Jewel, do you believe that, do you see the tendency of medical professionals changing their approach and ideas on, nutrition, the influence of nutrition into our health, or we're still somewhere at the beginning of this process?
Both. I feel both. I feel like we definitely further up the road to, I think there are more people now becoming aware of food being a medicine, and doctors who are switching to this lifestyle. Even I believe Dr. Garth Davids, he was not plant-based, but then looking at all the evidence, seeing the improvement in his own patients, he turned into supporting this lifestyle. And same with us. Like, I was not raised whole food plant-based. I was not raised vegan. But implementing plants into my food, into my lifestyle, and becoming 100% whole food plant-based, I see a lot of changes in my health, in my weight, in my kids' behavior, in my kids' health as well. And I think especially now during this pandemic that we have, I mean, this is the time to really connect with what are you doing for your health and how can you improve it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's a great transition to actually my next question is, what makes our immune system weak?
What makes our immune system weak? Environment does, but sometimes we cannot choose or maybe we can, but we don't want to pay the price for living in a suburbia or in some in a more environment friendly places. So, but one thing that you can do is to change your diet. And what harms in our diet, like everyone knows that processed food is not good for you. Oil is bad for your arteries. Oil is, salt is also bad for your blood pressure. So there are dairy, there are a lot of studies where they say how dairy, saying that dairy is bad for us, bad for our system, for our immune system. Kids who don't eat dairy don't even have the colds, like seasonal colds, or if they do have them, it's not as severe and it's not as often. So I would say dairy, animal products, processed food, oil, sugar, salt. We eat so much of salt and sugar lately that it just way beyond our needs.
Yeah, I feel like it's everywhere these days. And there are regulations that kind of help to add those additives to our foods everywhere.
And they are very addictive. They are very addictive. You start and you can't stop. And that's what brings into overeating. And then we go into obesity. And that's another pandemic we have, the obesity.
Yeah, which starts, I feel like it starts now earlier and earlier. You know, even kids are so, the biggest percentage, you know, of kids kind of facing this because they are in the condition, in a situation where they eat processed food without even families recognizing it, just because the way the education on nutrition is structured for us.
And the same thing with heart diseases. They find in kids who are like 10 years old already, the arteries are blocked.
That's why we do what we do, right? That's why we're having these events. So continuing on immune system discussion, what medical conditions indicate the weakened state of immune system? So what medical conditions can be like a red flag saying there is something is wrong and you need to take care of it? You need to take care of your immune system.
I would say there are a lot of things that indicate that is something wrong. And you don't even have to have a medical condition to name it, but you can, just by the way you feel, if you have low energy, something is not right. If you have inflammations, if you get sick pretty often, something is not right. If you have pimples on your face, something is out of balance. And definitely if you have diabetes type 2, that's a sign of inflammation. If you have high blood pressure, if you have hypertension, if you have some coronary artery disease, it all indicates that there were frankly wrong food choices that you made, and which is not to blame anyone, but it just, you are lucky. I would say people are lucky to note that this is happening, because sometimes the first symptom is your last symptom. Sometimes the heart attack just happens and that's it, and no one saves you. So if you aware of some conditions, if you know, if you've been to a doctor and your high cholesterol, it's a sign that you should really start investing into yourself. And the investment is food, investment is vegetables, investment is fruits.
And it seems like this is the easiest, to me, it's the easiest investment possible. So we can boost our immune system with nutrition only. Is that correct? Do we need any supplements? There are plenty of supplements right now on the market. And by the way, these days, they're all sold out because people are just trying to get healthy in one day. So can we actually boost our immune system with foods only?
Well, we definitely can. And at the same time, there are some recommendations in vitamins as well. So for vegan people, and I just been interviewing a few doctors recently. I was interviewing the Dr. Khan, cardiologist, last week, and I just finished my interview with Dr. Goldhammer today, and we did touch base on the supplements as well. So for all people who are on plant-based diet, the vitamin B12 is essential. You gotta have it. And it's not that because you are vegans don't get B12. The B12 is a bacteria in the soil. And with all our, especially now, the way we wash everything, vegetables, and especially in COVID-19, we wash everything. So there is no way the bacteria can get inside of us. So that's why we use B12. This is the one that I use. I use my kind B12. It's vegan. Other supplements could be omega-3, and only if you are low on omega-3. But if you're not, the flax seeds usually would do the job. So just adding a tablespoon of flax seeds into your diet should work. And then some people would need a D3. That's what we talked with Dr. Khan and Dr. Goldhammer about. And I personally think at the time when we are spending a lot of time at home, that would not be a bad idea to have some D3 vitamins in your supplements. And then there is also some talk about zinc, which also can be useful, but it's not necessarily like you can have all the nutrients and vitamins in your system by following a whole food, plant-based, balanced diet with adding just B12. Everything else is optional and depends on each case. I would say that.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I live in Seattle, so for me, vitamin D is definitely an essential thing because we kind of don't have enough sunshine during the year. So that's the one that I like. But I agree. Jill, do you believe that people who live in let's say California, Texas, Arizona, and they spend time outside, do they need extra supplement with vitamin D?
My mom lives in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You would think she would get enough sun, and her D level was so low that it was scary. So I would invite people to really check the numbers first and go from there, because it doesn't matter where you are, California, Florida, you can be in the desert, but if you are stuck in the office, it doesn't really matter. You're under air conditioning most of the time. So check your levels first and then take it from there.
Yeah, and I would like to add something to that. I agree with you and Jewel about vitamin D. And interesting fact that also sometimes people will take vitamin D, but their levels will not go up, or they will not, be at the same level for a long time. And the secret is that even though our skin start to production of vitamin D, but the final stage is happening in our liver. And for some people, if there is some stagnation or, liver that needs to be clean, it can be also a reason why people don't absorb vitamin D and don't create their own vitamin D. That's
interesting. Yeah, great. Thank you, Alexandra. Well, that's something to definitely consider. And I like that its approach to not just to start jumping and, buying things like supplements and stuff and start consuming them. They actually go get your results done and then go from there. Because I believe results can definitely surprise us, right? So let's...
And I like what Alexandra said, that even if you start doing the supplements, go back and check if you absorb them.
Right, right. Maybe there is a need to dig deeper then if something doesn't work.
Right.
Right. So, Jewel, how it is expensive to be a whole food plant-based person and feed a family? Usually when people switch to one diet to another, it means, you know, getting rid of a lot of stuff, buying a lot of stuff new, and just I just wonder if that's actually something that is sustainable and easy for people to start.
Okay, it's a great question and I can't wait to answer it. Again, this is my view on it. When people talk about being healthy and how expensive the whole food plant-based is, I always want to ask, not being a plant-based, how much do you spend? And if you're spending money on beef, on meat, do you buy like 100% organic, grass-fed? Because that's the thing, right?
Right.
So at one point, I decided, my husband, when he was not yet plant-based, he said, I want to get meat and I want to get a steak. I'm like, okay, so let's go check how much it is. One steak is more than $100. If you're really, really going after the healthiest product there, the healthiest meat, you will spend a lot of money. So if you're buying a $1 chicken full of antibiotics, and you compare it to plant-based, I don't know, maybe it will be more expensive. But you're really investing into your health. While in buying a $1 chicken, you're probably investing into your future medical bills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
But even if you really take how much the whole food plant-based lifestyle costs, it's not that much. It's about the same as unhealthy regular set diet. It's probably less because the rice, legumes, and potatoes, they don't cost much. And then yes, if you stay with seasonal food from your local markets, it shouldn't cost much too. And again, I feel like a lot of people overeating. So if you just follow when you're hungry and eat when hungry, stop when full, then you're probably not gonna spend that much money on whole food, plant-based food.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I feel like these days everybody's sitting at home. So the trips to a refrigerator kind of happen way too often. So we definitely need to be careful with that. And since we're talking food now, like a real food, real stuff, I know that you're plant-based cooking instructor. So I just wonder if you could share some recipes with us of food or maybe some drinks. How can we boost immune system today in our kitchen?
Well, okay. Well, I just didn't have any recipes coming up into my head right now until you said about drinks. And the drink that I drink regularly now while we are in this pandemic is my wellness shots. And here I have it. This is my wellness shot that my family drinks every day. I juice fresh ginger. I juice fresh turmeric. I mix them together. I mix them with a freshly squeezed orange juice. And you're probably not gonna see it, but there is black pepper in it on top. So this is our shots. That's what we drink. I know a lot of people now drinking wine and some other hard liquor because they feel they are stressed and they need some stress relief. And I say this time is the most important to really not drink alcohol. I mean, even if you have wine and you love wine, leave it for after we are done with this pandemic. Right now,
Celebrate
you
karaoke.
gotta do as much as possible to keep your immune system up. So if you want to have a shot, I promise you, this shot will give you a kick. It's it will give you a kick. It's like a shot of vodka, but better and tastes better. And so this is one recipe. What else do we do here? We do a lot of food-wise. We use a lot of garlic. We use a lot of onions and lemons and vinegars. But mostly, if you eat plants, you're already boosting your immune system. So just eat a lot of fresh vegetables, fruits, berries, and that's a help for your immune system. Besides food, there are other things that you can do. And what we do now is I take cold showers every day. I also exercise. I make sure I sleep plenty. And that's something else we were talking about with Dr. Goldhammer today, how important your sleep is during this time. That also boosts your immune system. And in other things too, I also like to use diffusers right now. I put some oil, tea tree oil or eucalyptus oil into my diffuser, and that's what we do during the day, at night before we go to bed in our bedrooms. And I also like to have an air cleaner in our rooms during the day. It's like a filter.
Everything sounds really doable. It sounds something that you can start doing today. I mean, on a regular basis and today.
Yeah, you can take care of yourself throughout the day by doing small things. It's not a big thing. You don't have to even go to the gym. You can do small things throughout the day that will boost your immune system. Like take a shower, you're taking a shower, turn it on a cold water for just few seconds, even few seconds. And then you go to the bathroom, you do some exercise. I'm doing jumping jacks all the time now. And make sure you go to sleep at a normal hour. So and food, of course, every time you eat, just make sure you have something that is plant-based, some vegetables, some fruits, if not all of them.
Right. Jill, what's your just like a general advice for everybody to improve the overall health that can be carried, beyond the pandemic and just through the life?
Just challenge yourself to do something, to go a step further. Just challenge yourself to add more fruits or vegetables to your plate. Challenge yourself to start every meal with some plants. Like that would be the first step, I would say.
Great. Sounds great. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you for sharing with us. I'm gonna quickly check chat and see if, hello everybody, if we have any questions. Let's see.
I see a question from Anastasia who says, whenever I try to eat healthier, I feel hunger.
That's a great question.
The hunger is actually is very hard to feel. It feels at the back of our throat. It's not in our stomach. We sometimes think that we are hungry, but it's not a real hunger. It's our addiction. Just wants to have something. So if you would eat a salad, a big bowl of salad, and then you'll eat some starch, like Dr. Goldhammer recommends and Chef AJ, eat some potato, you should not be hungry. You should feel full. Starches fulfill. Starches are very filling. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would like to add something to that too, that sometimes, so when we are eating a specific way, for example, if people eat meat and some other not healthy foods, in our digestive system, there is a huge microbiome, and there are a lot of bacteria that eat specifically what you eat. So when you cut off that food, your bacteria will kind of asking you continue to feed them, and it will take some time while a new bacteria will grow, and the old one that doesn't that not healthy will die. So that's probably, I also see why people can feel hunger, because some of the bacteria still wants like some of those monsters. Yeah.
And like for me, I just want to share that for me, for example, was the biggest struggle is to stop snacking. I feel like my body was used to the fact of receiving food every hour and a half, every 2 hours, and whenever I had longer breaks, I felt like I was hungry, even though it was just a habit. So when I stretched myself and started doing this a little bit longer breaks in between, 15 minutes longer, 15 minutes longer, it helped me to go longer without eating anything, without snacking. So addictions probably have different faces as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not only to specific foods. This is all great. I learned something new as well with you guys. Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you very much, Jewel. So we have, all right, we have another question. Is how can I measure my immune system improvement? Jewel, is there any like a visible measurement that can be done at home, let's say? Just know that we're walking in the right direction with it.
Well, the first improvement, I would say the energy levels.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is something that you really can see and feel, that your energy levels goes up, but also like you just see if you improve or not. Like if you stop eating dairy, you're probably gonna see that the pimples from your face, they're not there anymore, or they are less. So you just see the improvement. I don't know if there is any specific instruments to measure it, but you see it by the way you feel.
That sounds about right. Exactly, energy level is really important in this process. Thank you very much, Jewel. Thank you for answering, and I think we can move to asking some questions, Alexandra, right now. So Alexandra, Chinese medicine and Western medicine, what's the difference?
The difference, actually, there are a lot of differences. So first of all, that Chinese medicine compared to Western medicine, much older, at least 3,000-4,000 years older than Western medicine. And another difference is that Western medicine focused more on disease, right? We usually come to see doctor if we have something that stopped working and we are asking to fix it. Eastern medicine, Chinese medicine, focused more on health. Traditionally, Chinese medicine was created to keep balance in our body. And interestingly enough, that many thousands of years ago, Chinese doctors, they were paid by families while the whole family was healthy. When someone got sick, they were not paying them money until they, help family member to recover. So it's totally different perspective, on doctors, what they're doing. And that's why in Chinese medicine, there are a lot of preventive stuff that we can do. And also Chinese medicine see our bodies as a holistic organism, and if there is any unbalance, usually the treatment will go through 5 arms that I called. It's through acupuncture, herbal medicine, massage, or bone settling. It's like chiropractic adjustments, qigong, and dietary recommendations. So usually this is the way how we are dealing with unbalance or disease. So I feel like this is
I just love this approach of not being paid, doctors not being paid when somebody gets sick. That's something that would definitely be a game changer.
Oh,
And,
for sure, yeah.
yeah, in traditional medicine as well. So, and what does it mean to boost immune system from Chinese medicine standpoint? How to decide, we were talking about it a little bit, but how to decide that immune system needs boosting if there are no, let's say, chronic diseases?
Mm-hmm. No, first of all, I would talk a little bit about immune system from Chinese perspective. What is it? Because there is no such thing as an immune system. It's called Wei Qi in Chinese medicine. And the idea is that every organ in our bodies produces a specific qi. And every qi, and qi, it's a translation to English as a vital energy. And every qi has its own purpose in our body. For example, Wei Qi, this is our protective qi, the energy that protects us from pathogens that coming in and from other unbalances that coming from inside. And the Wei Qi produced by our lungs. So the main organ who is responsible for that is lungs, which is usually in Western medicine not talked much about that. And in Chinese medicine, every organ has its pair, there is some connection. For lungs, the paired organ is a large intestine. And the immunity depends, our Wei Qi depends on function of our large intestine as well, because to be healthy we need to clean ourselves, right? And every day, for example, if we will watch animals, they go to poop I don't know, many times. So in our bodies, we supposed to do the same. Every meal, we have to go to restroom, but it not happens pretty often in people. So immune system, 2 main organs, lungs and large intestine, and another organ which is connected to lungs through another system that I will not go deep to details, is our digestive system. It's interesting that the digestive system in Chinese medicine, if it's suppressed, it will start to produce mucus, and our body will send this mucus into our lungs. And our lungs will start, we will start to cough, or some people will have postnasal drip, or they will have allergies or asthma, all like those unbalances. And suppressed digestive system will suppress immune system, right? Because if our lungs full of mucus, we cannot produce Wei Qi, and it will decrease our immune system. I forgot if I answered, like the all questions, because I'm usually all over the place. And
no, it's so great. It's so great. Absolutely. It just reminded me of a few recommendations that I heard and I follow, is that whenever I get sick, I try not to load myself with food. I actually try to eat less. So, and I also make sure that I eat something that works well and balances my digestive system. And before I was like, when I was given that recommendation, I thought, well, what's the connection there? Like, it doesn't make any sense. If I have a fever and I cough, why would I eat less or something? But now you are describing it, and I see how everything is connected, and how all this things are just, it's not, we're not treating only one part of the body. It's impossible, because others are getting
Correct.
as well. That's great.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And another thing that I forgot to say, it's also another organ that's very important for immune system is our liver. In Chinese medicine, it's not only organ that filtrates our blood, it's actually responsible for our nervous system state. And liver is one of those organs that usually will get stuck easily, stagnant, and we call liver qi stagnation. Mostly people will have liver qi stagnation because of the stress that we have all over the place. And usually lungs will control liver. And since we're breathing not deeply, and I will talk about that later, our liver is getting crazy, and it starts to attack lungs and digestive system, and create some tension, and our energy cannot flow easily in our body because of that. So it's very important to manage stress level to have a good immune system.
Yeah, and that's what I feel like a lot of people lack in these days because of this lockdown and everything. Everybody is really stressed out. Alexandra, is there a such thing in Chinese medicine as boosting immune system just in case?
So usually there will be some recommendations, lifestyle recommendations that people will do in daily basis, but there is not, it's not common to take herbal stuff, for example, just to tonify, because usually when we have some issues in our body, this unbalance, there will be as well as deficiencies and excess, because if in one place excess, right, then in another place will be deficiency. So it's like weight, right? So usually when we treat people, we harmonize them by prescribing some herbs that will actually reduce excess, and some other herbs will tonify deficiencies. So I would not, usually I don't recommend people, to buy herbs and that tonifies, tonics, adaptogens. Usually people want to do it, but it's not every time, healthy. Even though sometimes during different seasons, I will recommend to drink some teas, for example, that will be very beneficial for your body, but it will be still different from herbal prescriptions. It will be not as strong.
All right, makes sense. Thank you. And is it, so I feel like you pretty much answered. I had this question of if it is safe to boost immune system yourself, and I feel like probably it's not always the case.
Yeah, so I would recommend, since I covered, what is immune system, right, Wei Qi in Chinese medicine, it's lungs, digestive system, and nervous system. I would recommend do breathing exercise. Maybe I'm going to the next question, right? Answering, do breathing exercise, and it will be beneficial for everyone. There is no side effects. It's only good stuff, because when we are doing our breathing exercise, we are having, dedication, 10-15 minutes of breathing deep and calm. And usually when we're doing breathing exercise, we engage our diaphragm, our abdomen, which is stimulates our digestive system, massaging our small intestine. And since there is a connection between lungs and large intestine, when we do deep breathing, our large intestine will wake up and will be engaged as well. So this kind of easy exercise that can boost your immune system, or I would say it will keep balanced, you know.
Yeah, perfect. And that's, again, it's something that's what I like the most, that it's something that you can start doing today. You don't need a prescription for that. You don't need like probably to take some classes, long-term classes. You just can start, you know, adding it to your routine every single day, starting today. That's great. Yeah. And you mentioned that one of the things that Chinese medicine kind of focuses on is the nutrition. Mm-hmm. How big this role is in comparison to other parts, and what lifestyle diet you follow for optimal health?
Mm-hmm. Great question. Yeah, you know, it's interesting that there are different classical texts about how what doctor's supposed to be, you know, and one of the lines that said that the highest doctor is the one who can cure disease with dietary prescription. And it's very interesting because I was thinking about it, why it's you know, the greatest thing if you will learn how to treat people with dietary recommendation. And I think it's because people, your patients, can follow after that. You know, they can take care of themselves after you helped him, right? And it will stay with them, kind of. So in Chinese medicine, it's one of the 5 arms of treating diseases, and there are specific food that can tonify qi of different organs. And for example, for lungs, each organ in Chinese medicine has its own color, and lungs are having white color, kind of metallic color, and this color will tonify. Even if you will be imagining that your lungs are getting white, that way you will tonify your work of your lungs. But also everything that food, every food that is white will tonify your lung energy as well. For example, garlic, onion, daikon, white miso, any pungent food will tonify lungs, different spices, mushrooms, yeah.
How interesting. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I feel like it's probably because of the fresh air. If the air is fresh, we cannot see it. It's like white and not the color. So that's maybe the reference.
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And also pears. I forgot to tell that pears is our lungs like pears.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. That's good to know. I feel like yeah, it's so easy to be healthy, to stay healthy when you follow nutritional approach, because everything is available. Like you go to the store and everything is available. It's much easier than to start searching for complicated you know, prescriptions, even though they're needed sometimes. I totally understand that, but for somebody who is not there yet, that's definitely the approach to follow right now.
Yeah. And I would like to add something, you know, most of the Chinese Chinese medicine practitioners, they will follow animal diets. They will eat protein, and it's interesting that in classical texts there are mentioning about protein, animals, and even in pharmacopoeia, herbal prescriptions, there are sometimes animals, right? But I'm not prescribing at all animals, and I'm following plant-based diet as well. And I was thinking about, you know, if we need to follow, you know, strict rules. For example, people who practicing Chinese medicine, they sometimes they will follow 100% and they will do the same things that people did thousands years ago. But I think that our environment, our lifestyle is changing. And for example, in Chinese medicine, they used to use maltose, sugar,
Right.
to tonify people, especially who are fatigued and we would say they have a deficiency of energy. And small amount of maltose will help them boost their energy. But it worked because they didn't you know, drink Coca-Cola or, you know, every day. So that's why a small amount of sugar were able kind of, you know, tonify them. And right now people are eating a lot of sugar and it added everywhere. And we probably need to kind of change that, and we need to remove it from, you know, practicing. So that's why I'm thinking that it's very important to kind of think that it used to be that people were eating a lot of animals, but they were, you know, hunting, running, and they definitely didn't have animals for food 3 times a day. Right now we have totally different environmental situation, and we have different lifestyles. So it's very important to, you know, adjust.
Sure. Just and to ask and to, you know, look for support in that. Like sometimes it looks that it's seems like it's so difficult because you don't know where to start. And when you have a support, when you have somebody to hold your hand and to show you the approach to follow, it's easier to do so. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I learned it the hard way.
For sure.
So there's definitely an easy way in all of this.
Yeah.
Alexandra, do you have, the same question as to Jewel, do you have any favorite recipes or food or drinks that can help us boost immune system and just the overall feel energized and well?
Yeah, I have some recipes. I will share a couple of them. First of all, with the especially virus, it's very important to have in food beta carotene, vitamin A, because there is some evidence that vitamin A can affect the production of virus in the body. And also shots with vitamin A made out of goji berries. I really like it. So the recipe is you just pour some water on goji berries for kind of 20 minutes. And then you use the same water, put to the blender, add ginger and lime, and then blend it and then drink as a shot. And a goji berry is actually much richer in vitamin A than carrots, for example. So it's very good for boosting your immune system and to protect you from virus. And another recipe that I really like, it's tea, herbal tea, made out of one berry. It's called Alexandra berry, or Chinese name is Wu Wei Zi. You can buy it on Amazon in a bulk. It's very good for lungs, and since our immune system depends on our lungs, it will tonify your lungs, and it also help you to stay calm. Kind of, you know, after drinking it, you will feel the same as kind of after a glass of wine, but it's healthy. So I like that tea. And another recipe that I would suggest, and I can share, send you the recipe, and then you can send to everyone, is when you're feeling that you're getting sick, you don't have yet fever, but you start to have, like, you know, tension in your neck, or maybe slightly headache. You just feel that something is going not right. At this stage, Chinese medicine recommends to sweat out all the kind of bad stuff that came into your body. And you can do it by cooking soup with a vegetable broth, or you can mix miso paste, and then you add a couple of slices of ginger, fresh ginger, and then you put 3 slices of white onions, because white is lungs, right? And you cook it for 5-7 minutes, and then you drink it, and then you go to your bed, cover with a something warm, and then you start to sweat, and that will help you to, you know, at the stage when the disease is not deep enough yet, so there will be a chance to recover. But you need to do it before you have a fever or any scratchy throat or something.
Right, at the beginning. Awesome. That sounds great. Yeah, I see people asking if we could put together like some recipes and send it over email. I think we definitely can do that. Thank you for asking. And I want you just to take a second and look in our chat and see, okay, there's a question, how much time it usually takes our body to get rid of bad food addictions?
To remove bad food addictions, right?
Yeah.
I would say it depends, you know, on every individual, but I would say 3 weeks, from 3 weeks to 3 months. I don't know what Jewel thinks. Maybe she has better answer on that.
I don't think there is a better answer. I agree that it depends not only on it depends on what kind of food addiction you have, and a lot of things, and how strong it is. Sometimes it's not even that is body addicted to the food, but your mind. And that can take even years. Like I see it in my program that it can take years for people to really get rid of. And still I question if they really got rid of it, or they're going to be some relapse, because it happens too. The relapse can happen even years later. But once you learn this lifestyle, it is easier to catch yourself and to go back and to go back to this lifestyle.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
To do like everything possible in this given moment, right? Because next moment is gonna happen in the future, and today, in this moment, we have all a chance to choose our health first.
Yeah, I would not even go into like thinking, oh, it's gonna take me a month or 2 months or years, because that you're already giving yourself a kind of leaving yourself a back door.
Right.
So you just take one day at a time.
Alexandra, when you work with your patients, what approach do you use? Is it a combination of everything that Chinese medicine kind of focuses on, or you choose for a specific patient, you use a specific approach?
Yeah, so I'm usually definitely in my clinic, I use acupuncture for every person. I'm trying to prescribe herbal prescription for every person, but each herbal prescription will be individually, you know, created depending on constitutional issues or diseases. And I always send my patients with homework where they're, you know, doing different Qigong exercise, or they're changing their lifestyle. I'm working a lot with the mindset because it's very important, mind-body connection. And so every person will get something home, but it will be individually prescribed.
Awesome. All right. I see that we are running out of time, but I just want to ask, and I want to apologize, sincerely apologize for that. If you guys can stay with us, please do. We're gonna do a great Qigong routine in a minute. I just have one more question. for Alexandra. How many meals per day should a person have according to Chinese medicine? What is the healthy routine, and how do you start your morning?
Mm-hmm. So in Chinese medicine, there is no specific, prescriptions how many times, but what is said in Chinese medicine that it's very important to eat at the same time. We need to have a schedule because actually our body very smart, and if you, for example, will have uh, breakfast at 8:30 every day, your body will start to prepare 40 minutes before of food intake because all your organs will know that at this time there is a food. And when we are kind of eating chaotic at different time, the first organ that will actually get diseased will be a pancreas. It's the most kind of sensitive organ to that. So I would suggest focus on your schedule and try to eat 3 times. And another thing, the recommendations usually in Chinese medicine, we will say that have a breakfast as emperor. It means like a big breakfast, but have a dinner as a poor man. That means that your dinner should be very small, or you can skip dinner at all, not to go to sleep with a heavy stomach.
Heavy stomach, yeah.
And my morning routine begins with a breathing exercise. Actually, I will wake up and then I will have some glass of warm water, and then I will do breathing exercise with self-massage that I really like, and most people in my classes, they will do the same, and they really like self-massage. It's when we are kind of working on meridians.
Awesome. So yeah, I see this. This is a great, I feel like this is a great, sentence. World need a whole food rehab. I absolutely agree with that. Absolutely agree with that. So Alexandra, you practice Qigong, right? What it is, and is there any routine we can practice with you right now? Something that can be beneficial.
Yeah, so I will show you a quick exercise. I will not take too much time. And Qigong, it's a mastery of your Qi. So it's the first step when you actually start to work with your energy, and then you progress to Tai Chi, and then the last stage is a Kung Fu, right? The martial arts. But you begin with your internal energy. So I'm inviting everyone to sit straight, and we will be working on our lungs. And it's a good exercise when you are getting sick or before you get sick, or to do every day. It's like a flu shot, but it's a Qi shot, So we are doing, we breathe in and bringing our right hand and kind of grasping the energy from the right and forming a claw with your hand, and bringing your hand under your clavicle, left clavicle. And then you grasping with the left hand and collecting all the energy and forming a claw and bringing to your right clavicle. And now we will breathe in, and when we will do breathe out, we will tap our claws, and we will breathe out with a sound zzz, and it will look like this. Breathe in and breathe out. And now breathe in, and then we will cough out, imagining that we're coughing out like a bad, dark energy. Yeah, and you do this 3 times. Breathe in and breathe out. And then breathe in and cough out. And last time, breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and cough out. And spread the chi, massage under your clavicles, because there is our lung meridian begins here. And that's it. What it does, it actually breaking down the stagnant chi and activating your lungs. And it's especially good when you have a cough and mucus is not productive. So it will help kind of wake up your lungs.
I feel like even my head got cleared a little.
I feel some heat. I feel some heat here.
It's a chi.
Okay.
This is awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you for sharing. So there are many different routines of Qigong, right?
Yes, correct. This is just one.
Right.
This one seems so easy. And you said to start the day with this?
Yeah, you can do it. I usually do a breathing session where I combine, different types of breathing, but you can definitely do just this in the morning, and that will wake up and bring more energy. And how Anna said, clarity in your head. Yeah, so you can do it every day or during a day.
Yeah, I can totally feel it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Alexandra. It was amazing. So I checked, there are no questions in the chat. That means we were good at covering all the important information. Good job. And so I want to wrap up by giving each of you time to talk about some exciting news, about a survey, your services, something that you would love to share with the community. Please. We can start, Alexandra, you can start if you like.
Yeah, okay. Unfortunately, I don't have too much things that I can offer right now for English speaking people, because most of the time I was working with Russian speaking people, and I'm in the process of doing the same things in English, and I'm practicing. But I will give Anya my website, and right now I'm offering a program, monthly program, where people can, do some lifestyle changes, and I incorporate all Chinese medicine knowledge that I have. And also I would recommend to follow my website, not website, a page, Be Well PDX. I will probably also give Anya, and that way you will be able to see my news, because soon, I think maybe in May, I will produce first online course. It will call Perfect Day from Chinese medicine perspective. So yeah.
That sounds exciting. Yes, I'm gonna gather all the information, and you guys gonna receive it over email, so stay tuned. Thank you, Alexandra. Jewel?
Well, I have a lot of different exciting things. First exciting thing is I opened a new Plant Superpowers Facebook group. So it's just search for it, or you can send your viewers the name of it. It's Plant Superpowers. And I'm doing weekly shots, wellness shots with Jewel on Wednesdays and Fridays. So I am streaming it live in that group. And I always interview someone. It's a 20-minute interview. It's really like an injection of wellness. Today I had Dr. Goldhammer. On Friday, I'm having Chef AJ. So join the group, it's free. Another exciting thing is I'm doing a cleanse, a 15-day cleanse, which is gonna be it's going to be raw, like smoothies, juices, and either water fasting or juice fast. And then we're going to get out of that in the proper manner. So this is something else. I'm doing this at the end of this week. If you are interested, you can send me an email, or again, find me on Facebook. My Facebook is Jewel Nov. JULNOV. And again, Anna can share it with you. So yeah, just come join my group first, and from there we can go further.
I will share 100%. Thank you very much. And I encourage you guys to take advantage of that. You know, this is the time to start moving forward and choose your health first. Thank you very much, Jewel. Thank you very much, Alexandra, for joining me today. It was incredible. And thank you very much for all of our viewers for being with us here today, or to those who are gonna watch the recording. Thank you guys. Have the wonderful end of your day. Stay healthy and happy. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Anya. Thank you, Jewel.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Shura. It's always awesome to see you. And thanks to all your viewers.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Goodbye.
Bye.